So yeah, one of the things I'm going to end up doing to this thing is I'm going to take off all the hardware. I'm going to take all the strings. I'm going to clean the fretboard, but I am going to give this a brand new finish, something that I've never done before on a guitar. So if you've been around, you know that whenever I try something new, this is the guitar that gets that treatment. Hey everyone, how's it going? On today's episode, we're going to be checking out this mod project. Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm McChurch, your humble host for today, and today we are going to be talking about my old school BC Rich Warlock, the Bronze series, and how I turned it from just your typical run-of-the-mill BC Rich into this gorgeous thing that you see before you today. So before we get started on that, if you have not been following me on Instagram, on TikTok, those are the two platforms I post most of the stuff on. I do all kinds of crazy stuff, mostly guitar and some workout stuff. But if you're not following me, please go on ahead and do so. So the story goes that I have had this guitar in my possession since, give or take, 2013, 2014. And whenever I decided to modify or learn how to modify a guitar, this was the platform, the guitar that always, received my experiments, my tries and failures, my success and failures. And I feel like this was a success. This guitar has always sounded really good, and that's because of the Seymour Duncan that's in here. And all right, so I have always enjoyed guitars that inspire me to play. And this was one that I really wanted to do something different. And I always kind of like different aesthetics on guitars. And primarily, I like sparkle guitars. And when I was thinking about it, I was torn between two colors. Either a deep blue, like a ocean, but not too deep of a blue, or purple. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go with purple because I don't have that kind of color guitar. And you don't really see that many purple guitars out there. So I went with a purple base, and I went on ahead and I knew I wanted to do a sparkle finish, and it's glossed for the most part. Not everything's glossed. It was kind of a happy accident. I don't know if you can see. It's not silver sparkles. It's actually gold. The back actually has a nice finish to it, along with the neck. And again, you can see a lot of the imperfections from the tape that I got on there. But what happened was I went to Lowe's and I got a special kind of gloss purple paint. I didn't do it the way that you're supposed to. I kind of tried to cut a few corners. So I went on ahead and I got a purple gloss paint and some sparkle finish. And then I got some clear gloss as well. So when I went to apply the sparkle, it kind of shot out right here on this horn, and that's kind of why it's the way that it is. And I didn't realize that it was gold, but I kind of liked it. So there's some areas where you can kind of see that the gold is kind of, sprayed just a little bit more here. This one here over by the cavity, I did that because I should have just taped over the pickup that was here, but instead I took it out and taped around it, and it was just messing around. But yeah, so there's like a few areas where the sparkle kind of has it a little bit more than others. As you can see, the back is pretty, it just has it all over, and along with the neck. The headstock is just, it is what it is. So I was like, all right, well, I got purple and gold. I was going to reuse the old hardware, except one of the tuners, the screw itself, like the top part was stripped, so I had to get some pliers to undo that. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to put some locking tuners on it. And then I was like, you know what? This pickup's black, the tuners are black. I might as well just go all in. So I went on ahead and I replaced the knobs. All right, that was weird. I don't know where it cut off at. I'll just recap real quick in case it cuts out on me again. But pretty much one of the tuners, as I was unscrewing it, the screw itself stripped. So I was like, all right, might as well order some locking tuners. and I went with the black ones. I was going to go with silver, try to keep the original aesthetic, but when I saw that it was purple and gold, I was like, I got to go with black hardware. So I got these black locking tuners on there. I'm not exactly sure what brand they are. They're just, decent locking tuners, but they're on there now. You can see, no name, no brand, but they do the job. And then from there, I went on ahead and I replaced the tuning knobs with some just black tuning knobs, and then the bridge. The bridge was actually the hardest part to find, but overall, it wasn't that expensive to get all this and put it on myself. So yeah, that's how I got this awesome looking aesthetic. The only thing that is not glossed on here is the neck. I don't like gloss necks, as you know, if you're a returning viewer, you know that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take off all the gloss, and it took me a little bit to actually do it, and do it in a way that the gold sparkle does not rub off on my hands. All right, so I'm just going to throw a quick little demo in here, nothing crazy, and this is what it sounds like. All right, everyone. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for stopping by and looking at this gorgeous new guitar. And just one more huge glance at this. Like I said, it's not perfect. It has its imperfections, but I like it. I am thoroughly enjoying this thing, and I love how it came out. And yeah, it kind of just brought some new life to it. And this is currently tuned to drop B, which is the lowest tuning that I have right now of all my guitars, but it may switch. And yeah, well, until next time, thank you all so much for coming, hanging out, and checking out my new guitar, and I will see you all in the next video.